The Arizona Diamondbacks win tonight over the Colorado Rockies by a score of 8-0. And after watching this Rockies team, I don't know if they're Cactus Light worthy, but we won, so we're turning it on. Diamondbacks win, and we're talking about it. Join us. We're not going anywhere. You shouldn't either. We're starting in 30 seconds. Let's go. Welcome into another edition of the PHNX Diamondbacks podcast right here on PHNX, or should I say, I swerve when I drive and I swerve when I drive. Of course, I am your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. This guy over here is the one and only large intimate, occasionally known as Kevin Thomas on the ones and twos, and we are so thankful and grateful to see all of you guys here tonight. Thank you guys for waiting around for me. The bullpen or the clubhouse and Torey didn't take very long. It was mostly fireworks traffic, but of course, I'm glad to have made it here to the studio and talk about the Diamondbacks beating the Rockies by a score of 8-0. What? 8-0. This is a rout. This is a rout indeed. Of course, this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Make sure to download that Bet365 app now. This is a great game to get down on all the Diamondbacks over bets. And of course, use our code of PHNX365 when you sign up. You'll get some bonus bets. Of course, you go over to Game Time, get tickets to a game like tonight's game, which honestly, over 35,000 people in the building to watch the Colorado Rockies get their butts kicked by the Snakes. Wasn't a bad turnout at all, but of course you use that code of PHNX and you'll get $20 off over at Game Time. Diamondbacks do indeed win by a score of 8-0. The Diamondbacks now have 33 games this season where they have 3 or more extra base hits, which, as much as it seems like the Diamondbacks offense cannot get on a roll at times, they are good at getting extra base hits, especially that guy we know is Corbin Carroll. Those 33 games leads Major League Baseball, currently ahead of the Dodgers, who have 29, Mets with 28, and Yankees with 25. So that's some pretty good company. However, tonight is all about the pitching. Corbin Burnes and the bullpen did an outstanding job against, let's be honest, a terrible Rockies team. I want to get excited. We're going to talk about Corbin Burnes. Don't worry. Spoiler alert, I'm giving him the king snake. He got 10 strikeouts. You knew that was coming. But we're going to talk about the offense here first. But before we talk about the offense, the first thing we need to talk about is this Colorado Rockies team. Look, I don't want to kick dirt on someone's name as much as I'm going to throughout this podcast. But what I witnessed tonight at Chase Field was some of the worst baseball I've ever seen played by an opposing team. It goes beyond the Rockies just making mistakes and being bad at baseball. It was an absolute lack of effort on their part. This team has won 7 games this season. They are 7-37. They are 30 games below 500, and it is currently May 16th. This team, they have played 14 games this season, the Rockies have. 14 now, including tonight's game, where they have scored 1 run or less. The Rockies are now 1-21 in night games. 1-21 in night games. This is not a good baseball team. So I think that's the reason why I want to preface this particular outing with that. The Diamondbacks played great baseball tonight. In fact, when you take a look at the way they played versus, the Rockies, it's like night and day, right? The Diamondbacks not only, won handedly, but they also went out there and they played a really good game of baseball tonight against a very bad baseball team. The Diamondbacks' entire starting lineup got the job done. Just kind of gloss over things here, or to go over quickly the Diamondbacks' numbers. The Diamondbacks I think everybody except Lourdes Gurriel, who was 0 for 5, got a hit tonight. Ketel Marte also did not get a hit tonight. Corbin Carroll was 2 for 5. You have Gino Suarez was 1 for 3 with a really good hit there that was actually I believe it was like less than 80 miles per hour off the bat, but Gino still got it done. He got 3 RBIs tonight. You also had Josh Naylor getting the job done. He was 2 for 4 tonight. Josh Naylor also got a stolen base, and he's showing off his wheels as he always does. He is a base stealing machine, folks, and he cannot be stopped. Josh Naylor told Torey Lovullo that he wants 30 stolen bases this season. And I can't inject that directly into my veins. Please inject that directly into my veins. But Naylor did steal his 8th base of the year, which is only behind Geraldo Perdomo for most stolen bases on the team this year. So that's exciting. And I think we have more from Torey Lovullo right now on Josh Naylor and his base stealing prowess.
Not to him. He said he's going to steal 30 this year. So just a real student of the game. And, you're trying to cash in every angle that you possibly can. That's where he lives. He lives in that space, and I'm going to try to figure out a way to advance and be better, in a better spot to score for my teammates. So it's a really big team moment that he's always aware of. So yes, I'm a little surprised, but there's art and technique that are involved with stealing a base, and he's doing a really good job of that.
I mean, Josh Naylor is just a guy that, again, when I talk about effort or the lack of effort that I saw from the Colorado Rockies, I don't ever see that from Josh Naylor. I know he doesn't play the tightest defense over there at first base. I know he's made a lot of mistakes this year, but I just don't really feel it's not about effort. I think maybe it's just about getting in his own head and trying not to make those mistakes and then having that come out. But Josh Naylor, I feel like has been really good for this team, and kind of in a way a little bit of the opposite of what we expected. Not necessarily the home run hitter that we thought he was going to be, but more of the chaos causer that we wish the rest of the lineup was, right? So I mean, got to give credit where credit is due to Naylor and what he's brought to this team this year. Another guy that's of course killing it is Geraldo Perdomo, who continues to lead the team in RBI. Actually, I think he's currently once again tied with Gino, if I'm not mistaken. Gino had 3 RBIs tonight, and so did Perdomo. So both of those guys came into the game tonight tied in RBI. And again, Perdomo has just been an incredibly productive player. He was 1 for 2 tonight with a double, 3 RBI. He walked, he had a sac fly. And again, Perdomo continues to be the leader of this team. And I mean, it's amazing what that guy does. It's amazing how hot his bat is. And here, once again, we have Torey Lovullo talking about Jerry's hot bat.
Yeah, it's fair to say, right? We've seen Jerry grow over the past couple of years, and if you've been here long enough, you understand the type of hitter he was and the work that he's putting in. And I see it now. You guys get a chance to watch it evolve as well. So I'm not surprised by it. He's got a really good approach with men in scoring position. He's always been really good at surveying the strike zone. That's what we loved about him from the time he was 17, 16 years old. Now there's a little bit of a thump, a little bit of force on the baseball, and he can impact the game with one swing of the bat. But it's the approach. It's an all-field approach. He's letting the ball get deep. He's counter-punching the pitcher's ability to attack him with men in scoring position. And I don't know if it was 1 or 2 RBIs today. I know there was 1 sac fly, 3 RBIs, but yeah, the sac fly sticks out to me. We advanced the runner, and he got the job done. So he knows what the at-bat's asking for. He's a very smart player.
Jerry is our risk king for a reason, and that is because the man gets the job done with runners in scoring position. Unfortunately, the rest of the team still doesn't really have that locked in or dialed in when it comes to men in scoring position. The Diamondbacks tonight with guys in scoring position. Excuse me. Sorry, my microphone's in the way. 3 for 15. 3 for 15. 15 runners in scoring position tonight for this team. And Torey Lovullo brought it up, but it's a good night when you have that many base runners, when you get that many guys on via hits. The Diamondbacks had 12 hits. They also walked a few times. Let's see, we had a total of 3 walks here by the Diamondbacks. So again, that's the 15 base runners. All 15 base runners apparently got in a scoring position for the Diamondbacks. However, well, that's not how that works, but there was 15. They had 15 opportunities with runners in scoring position. That's how it works. But the Diamondbacks still scored 8 runs. I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, again, this was a night where they kind of scattered things around. Nothing was like overly impressive offensively from either team. Diamondbacks did get some big hits with men on, so that was good, but you just still didn't feel like, I don't know. Again, 3 for 15. That means 12 opportunities that they weren't able to convert And again, even though they put up 8 runs, that's probably the only blemish in regards to the Diamondbacks, game tonight is that they didn't do that. However, they still whooped the Colorado Rockies. And again, there wasn't any home runs. Neither team had a home run. So our Sanderson 4 deep drive of the game is going to be a little disappointing, and I apologize for that. I wish I could drum something up here, but Corbin Carroll's double in the 3rd inning, that is the only thing that was close to a home run in this game. That particular double would have been a home run in one single ballpark in Major League Baseball. Kevin, do you know what ballpark it would have been a home run in?
What ballpark, Derek?
George M. Steinbrenner Field, which isn't a real ballpark. So that's all we got for you on the deep drive of the game tonight. But the Diamondbacks didn't need it. They played some great defense out there tonight. I mean, there were several great defensive opportunities, great play in center field by one Tim Tawa. To be honest, he chased down a ball. I don't remember right now who hit it, but he chased down a very long fly ball and did an excellent job. I think it was Bretton Doyle. No, that's not right. I think it was Ryan McMahon. That's the one that it was. But yeah, again, great job by Timmy Tawa there. A lot of concern in the press box, maybe amongst you on Twitter as well, because Tim Tawa was pulled out of the game there late and replaced by Alek Thomas. Of course, the thought process here was that is Tim Tawa injured? Is Timmy injured? Jack and I got a chance to talk to Tim. Tim is fine. We also have Torey here telling us the reason behind the move.
Tawa was good. 5-0. I have an elite center fielder sitting on the bench. And I'm going to talk to Timmy tomorrow. I don't want him to take that personal. I'm going to make sure that he understands he's doing his job. He's making really nice plays there. But at the end of the day, I've got to put the best defense out there and preserve and win, in my opinion. I have Thomas ahead of Tawa, but Timmy's coming. He's doing a great job out there.
Carlos in the chat asks, how is it a home run at Steinbrenner Field but not Yankee Stadium? That's because Yankee Stadium's a real major league ballpark. So their dimensions are close, but I don't believe they're exact. I could be wrong about that. However, I do know that every time you look at these statistics on over at Baseball Savant, you will find that usually George M. Steinbrenner Field is always on the left side of the columns and hardly ever on the right when it comes to what is and isn't a home run. But taking a step backwards to injuries, we did have some big injury news today, and that is the fact that Eduardo Rodriguez was placed on the 15-day IL before today's game. Not great, and could be a bit of an explanation as to why we've seen Erod struggle. We're going to hear from Corbin Burnes, but Corbin Burnes did kind of say before he had that missed start due to his situation with his shoulder, that he wasn't able to do everything that they were trying to do. He didn't get into the specifics. However, he did say that the tenderness in the shoulder was kind of holding him back. Maybe that's the case here with Erod. This IL stint is retroactive to the 15th. And again, we have Torey giving us an update on why Erod has been placed on the IL.
And Erod was placed on the IL with some left shoulder inflammation, fatigue and inflammation. With Erod, I was made aware of it post-game in San Francisco that there was just some fatigue factors that he was feeling, and through the course of the past couple of days, we just determined it would be the best to put him on the IL, build up some of that strength and get him back out there as soon as possible. I know what everybody wants to know is, does Nelly slot in? Most likely. Where does he slot in? We're still figuring all that out, but we're grateful for all the hard work that guys like Mike Fitzgerald and Brian Kaplan and the rest of the pitching coaches are putting in to make sure, and the medical team are putting in to make sure that we're putting Ryan Nelson out there every 4th or 5th day, sometimes 6 days, to stretch him out. So something like this does happen, we have a very capable starter.
Some of you in the chat are basically saying that Torey is lying there, and while I can't say he is or isn't lying, I understand where you're coming from. There's never a time where a manager is really, in today's day and age, going to come out and say, this starting pitcher sucks, so we're putting him on the IL, because that would be a lie, right? Now, what I will say is that the IL decisions, as Torey has told us in the past, is made by the medical staff. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's up to you as a person and what you want to believe in life. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so who knows what is even the truth anymore. What I will say, though, is that Shoulder fatigue is not too far off from the dead arm issue that we heard from in regards to, Justin Martinez, and maybe it is shoulder fatigue. Maybe this reset is what someone like Erod needs, right? And yeah, his ERA is definitely inflamed, Caesar. That's you roasted him on that one. But I mean, as a Diamondback fan, I know you might be skeptical. However, you should be cautiously optimistic, I should say. Maybe this is the reason why he hasn't been very good, quite frankly, right? And again, that's not saying he's going to come back and pitch well, but we're going to hear, like I said a little while ago, from Burnes, and Burnes kind of made it sound like missing that one start for him was a big help, and it got him back on track to at least have that extra rest. Who knows if this is going to be the case, but what it does do for those of you that do not believe this is a real IL stint is it puts Ryan Nelson into the starting rotation, which is what a lot of you wanted to see. It's what a lot of us have wanted to see. To be fair, Ryan Nelson earned this. Ryan Nelson earned this with his performance last year, and Ryan Nelson earned this with his performance in spring training. He wasn't as dominant in spring training as he was last year, but again, that's spring training. Nobody really cares about that, right? He was competing for a spot, though, and it was a spot that I don't think he could have ever won, because it did feel like the decisions were being made, and they were being made about the guys that they paid a lot of money to be part of the starting rotation, quite frankly. Diamondbacks couldn't afford really to have Jordan Montgomery in the bullpen as one of the highest paid relievers in all of baseball, but God forbid they had two of those guys in the bullpen in both Erod and Jordan Montgomery at the same time, right? So it doesn't feel like Ryan Nelson ever really had a shot at the starting rotation. He's been excellent at times this year. However, when his fastball command isn't there, there is no outing from Ryan Nelson. So that's the danger here. Erod at least had some other ways to get through outings. It wasn't perfect, but you really do feel like Ryan Nelson has to establish that fastball in order for him to be the kind of pitcher we all want him to be in the starting rotation. I've said time and time again that Nelson was the Diamondbacks' best pitcher for a period of time last year, and that's not just my opinion on that. That's a fact. There's stats to back that up. He was incredible over a stretch in June of 2024, I believe, and even into July. But again, we kind of need at this point to not have this every fifth day wild card situation with Erod, right? I still want to believe in Eduardo Rodriguez, and again, based on the amount of money that's still owed to him and the years left on his contract, we kind of need him to get things back on track, right? But I do respect the fact that the Diamondbacks will find a way to, make sure that they're putting the best players out there on field, regardless of what they're paying guys. And I think that part of it is it just shows their commitment to winning versus, hey, we paid this guy a bunch of money, he's going to play, right? And Jay Cuddy says, whose house? And you know whose house. It's Swerve's house. Swerve when I drive, and I swerve when I drive. We're going to talk about that later. That was a whole lot of fun to have Swerve out at the ballpark. He is an incredible individual who has had an amazing life, and he's also a certified wackadoo. I'm going to tell you that right now. That man is insane when it comes to pro wrestling and the stuff he does in the ring. But before that, did want to talk about the moves made in regards to Eduardo Rodriguez. Christian Montes de Oca from AAA Reno was called up, and there's a lot of excitement around here in regards to that. He was one of those guys that was developed, I believe, from the Dominican Academy, and has been a member of the Diamondbacks organization since he was a very, very young man. So it's very cool to see him getting called up to the majors. Scott McGuff was also recalled today, and he pitched in this game. He actually went out there and had a pretty good outing. Of course, it was with an 8-run lead against a JV. I don't even know, do we call it JV? Is it like a freshman Rockies team at this point? Is this like playing? Is this like an organized high school team playing against the kids from PE? Like what is
what
this
was that
now?
Scam school that got on ESPN?
Oh yeah, that's
was it
right.
Bishop Gorman?
Yeah.
Are they the Bishop Gorman of
The Bishop Gorman? Yeah,
is
the
this
Bishop
a Nathan
Gorman
for
of Major
You
League
episode?
Baseball.
Is he trying to fix the Rockies by ruining them? What's happening truly?
Look, I like Christian Saez from over there at DNVR. I don't want him to not have a team to cover at a major league level, but I'm starting to believe in this relegation idea very much when it comes to the Colorado Rockies. Also optioned today was Joe Mantiply to Reno. And of course, I know that makes a lot of you out there happy, but the Diamondbacks also traded Jose Castillo to the Mets for cash consideration. So Jose Castillo can no longer hurt us, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have a lot of pitching stuff to talk about here, mostly all about Corbin Burnes and his amazing outing tonight. We are going to do that on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, one place you can go is Gila River Resorts and Casinos, and it's Friday night, so it's a great time to be out there. Over 4,500 slots and table games for you to have a blast with. Great place for a staycation. Great place, especially with this hot weather coming, to just go hang out by the pool and drink yourself a pina colada. No matter what, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They offer an unprecedented level of entertainment, and right now you can catch every thrilling moment in the sports world at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have massive screens. They have the sportsbook right there, all of the odds, all the information you need to know. If you love having that piece of paper in your hand and getting down on the action, it is the place for it. They offer delicious food, and of course, right now, the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, PGA going on. Got to watch a hole-in-one today happen live while I was in the clubhouse at the Diamondbacks game. That's a pretty cool place to watch it, but an even better place would be over at the BetMGM Sportsbook at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, place your bets and experience the excitement, and you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for more details. Of course, also, if you want to go out there and you want to get yourself into any kind of event, including Double or Nothing from AEW coming up this weekend right here in Glendale. You get yourself some Diamondbacks tickets and watch them beat the crap out of the Rockies, or of course any other events, concerts, or shows right here in town. Go to Game Time. It is the place to save on last minute ticket deals. You can save up to 60% off by purchasing your tickets last minute. And of course, you can also save even more money by going in and doing their zone deal, which will allow Game Time to pick the ticket for you, and you save that way. They also have their Game Time picks, which filters out all of the available tickets and finds you the best seat for the best available price, and that is great when you have to look for tickets online. So of course, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Kevin, what time is it?
Swerve time!
No, it's no.
Game time!
Yeah, it's Swerve's house, but it's Game Time. That's very good.
I'm just swerve coded today. I'm
I
sorry.
know. No, I get it. By the way, my word of the night is of course, or my phrase of the night. So you have to ding me now every time I say it, because I'm pretty sure I've already said it 10 times.
Every time you say what?
In segment, of course. Oh, there it is. Maybe Glockenspiel me one time. I don't know. We'll see.
Glockenspiel's too happy.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this is more of a corrective behavior kind of thing. But someone in the chat said, why not trade Joe Mantiply? And mindlessly scrolling answered it for us all right there. Mantiply has very low trade value, LOL. Also, the Diamondbacks do not have a lot of options for left-handed relievers within the organization. Not to say at this point with his struggles that you want to see the organization necessarily turn to Joe, but to be fair, Mantiply put up some pretty good numbers in Reno. Now, I said, much like this game and the thumping that they gave the Rockies, you can't get too excited about it because it was a lower level of competition. Same thing with Joe Mantiply. He's a veteran at this point, and this man knows how to get outs. He knows how to pitch against guys that can't hit major league pitching. So, of course, he had success, even though it's the PCL and it's known for its offense. The thing about it is that the Diamondbacks really right now need Mantiply to go down to Reno and work on some stuff and become an asset for them again. And then maybe they can trade him, or maybe they'll end up needing him desperately because they don't have another left-hander, and that's all they have to turn to. So, and yes, you guys are right. There's Backus, there's Ament, there are other guys, but it's not the fact that those guys are still guys that they feel are developing, especially Ament. I don't know if he's a guy that they want to turn into a reliever, and that is definitely part of what they have to make the decision on. And are you suggesting that we turn to Palmquist? Because he's not on our team, but he did give up a lot of hits tonight. You know who didn't, though, was Corbin Burnes. He had his best outing as a Diamondback tonight, striking out 10. Let's throw that bad boy up there. Let's light that thing all the way up, Kevin. Let's get that Circle K strikeout meter filled, baby. Look at it. It's glowing. It's beautiful.
That deserves an air horn.
Yeah, let's do an air horn. Can we get Glockenspiel? I'm still waiting for a Glockenspiel. There we go. Isn't that whimsical and delightful every time? He dominated Rockies hitters tonight with his cutter. I think we have his pitch chart. We could throw that up because it's absolutely disgusting what he did to the Rockies with his cutter. I mean, this man threw a lot of cutters. 51% of his pitches were cutters, 51 cutters thrown. He got 10 whiffs on it. And again, he did a great job of the movement with his cutter. He also followed it up nicely with the curveball tonight. Had a lot of success with the curveball as well. Just a great all-around night here from Corbin Burnes. And let's hear from the man himself on his outing and how he felt overall.
Yeah, pretty good. For the most part, we kind of did what we wanted to do tonight. The middle innings there, we threw too many pitches, started to lose the command again. So one of these outings I'm going to do from start to finish, but I don't have to say that. But we're getting closer and closer to that, so it's been good.
He also discussed that cutter that I brought up that was very sexy, very good tonight, and how effective it's been for him. And here's what he had to say.
Yeah, for the most part, it had more cut tonight, which is good. Kind of the middle innings where we lost the command. Mechanically, we're just trying to do too much, and you can see the cut all of a sudden stop cutting. So made it a little bit tougher there in the middle innings, but yeah, we kind of found it there in the sixth again. So that's always good.
And again, the cutter is his bread and butter pitch, and it's a pitch that he needs to get guys out. It's a pitch that he needs to set up his other pitches, his off-speed stuff. And again, it was working really well for him tonight. More importantly, as we've seen kind of Burnes progress, especially since, that returning from that short stint, that essentially that start off that he took, he's been really good. And Torey Lovullo discussed Burnes' hot streak and just how good he's been during that stretch.
Yeah, he looks like he's on a nice little roll. And I don't think he's ever not been on a roll. I know there have been a couple of hiccups, but good pitching, good, like very high, lofty expectations, his own personal standards. You get spoiled. It's the same thing with Zach Gallen, and they give him a couple runs. You're like, what's wrong? Well, nothing. It's a hard level. So I feel like he's in a really good spot. The execution is high. You can tell the way he's attacking the zone. The misses are very close, and he's able to make quick adjustments. So I think he's in a real good spot and only going to get better.
I will say that this is obviously Burnes' best start. It's his most strikeouts. I believe he's only had 8 strikeouts has been the most that he's had up to this point. And again, I'll pump my brakes because this is a bad Rockies team. But I feel like Corbin is getting stronger with each outing, and I think this is the kind of outing that people were looking for to finally say he's had an elite outing for this team. And what Torey's kind of saying there is like, they see the work that he's putting in. They see what he has done against very good offensive teams. And even though things haven't gone his way early this season, you're still, it's a difference of opinion between what fans feel about Corbin Burnes and how the coaching staff and the front office feels about him. They understand some of the opponents that he's faced and what he has done in those games, right? And we as fans just want to see these kind of numbies. Just give me these numbies. Give me those 10 strikeouts. Give me those double-digit numbers. Give me a blank, give me a shutout. Give me, this. This, again, is against a bad Rockies team, but this is what Corbin Burnes can do, and this is what he can do even against good teams. However, he even said something tonight that kind of backed up a theory I had, and it's just, again, as you get older as a pitcher, yes, your stuff might not be as sharp, and yes, you might not put up the same numbers you did as a dominant younger pitcher. However, what I've seen out of Corbin Burnes, and this might be that same thing that the front office and Torey's talking about, is like his ability to go out there and adapt and work a game plan and get outs. And honestly, I mean, that's kind of more of like a Merrill Kelly kind of thing, right? Or Merrill Kelly's outings aren't sexy. They're woogie is what they are. And they are amazing because he goes out there and gets the job done, but you don't often see, Merrill Kelly go out there and put up crazy strikeout numbers or anything like that. He does have his game every once in a while where he definitely does do that. But overall, this was an electric outing from Corbin Burnes, and hopefully this will quell some of those people that feel like every single Diamondbacks starter that we acquire that's elite with a different team is no longer going to be elite with us. So yes.
And this is not even his final form. It's not even his final form.
They
asked him if he thought it was his best, if he thought he was on like a hot run right now. And he was like, I got to stop walking guys before we had that conversation. And, and he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
And he's one of the best pitchers. He's having incredible numbers right now as one of the Diamondbacks' best, most talented pitchers without the walk thing under control. That's
true. But I also, in some of his outings, again, I have not minded who he's walked.
Correct.
As a very as a veteran pitcher that knows what he's doing out there, he knows who to pitch to and he knows who not to pitch to. And I think that part of it is the part I'm talking about, where like that's the thing that you might not always see. I'm not going to act like I'm not going to do the ball knower thing, but I'm just going to say, like, sometimes you don't see that. Sometimes we don't think about those kind of things, but
you mean the casual fan? The common fan?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. You made me feel really snooty right there. I knew it the minute it came out of my mouth too, but anyway, it's just the fact that, again, you have a game plan, you know who you're going to let beat you, you know who you're not going to let beat you, and this is a great outing from Corbin Burnes, where you didn't really need to do that. Again, 3 walks is still 3 walks. Like, I'm not going to overreact to 3 walks. I know it, once again, is against the JV Rockies subpar freshman team of guys that are just walk-ons, whatever. But one of the theories we discussed in the press box is, should the Rockies just option everybody? Who's to say that their minor leaguers aren't going to come up and put in more of an effort than we saw out of this team tonight? I'd be hard-pressed to believe that they wouldn't. But, of course, we do have to give out our King Snake, and you know who it's going to. I already spoiled that. It's going to the one and only Corbin Burnes for his outing tonight. 6 innings pitched, only 2 hits allowed, no earned runs, 10 strikeouts, and those 3 walks. Fantastic outing tonight by Corbin Burnes. And everybody looked so good in purple. I tweeted this out, but it was very confusing before the game, because when the Rockies were taking batting practice, they were wearing purple. They were wearing like purple shirts and purple hats. And then the Diamondbacks were also out there, and so was their grounds crew, and everybody was wearing purple, and it was just purple. It was just a bunch of purple. Sean's right. He says, careful with these digs, Derek. LOL. We still have to take care of business and sweep them. A 2-1 series would be bad. Yes, after seeing what I saw tonight, a 2-1 series would be bad. I will completely agree with that. I felt like saying that was very arrogant before this series. I have not watched very much Rockies baseball this year. I've just kind of laughed from afar. Now I've had a chance to see how bad this team is. And if this team beats you even for one game, it speaks volumes about your team, because this team has completely given up. And again, they have like 4 more months of baseball left in front of them. So good luck with that. But the bullpen, again, great. Before I move on, Burnes lowered his ERA, by the way, down to 2.56. That's currently 14th best, the 14th best ERA in all of baseball. So he's with some pretty elite company. I think Tarek Skubal is below him, or has a higher ERA than him. A couple other guys that are big name pitchers there. So we're seeing Burnes be Corbin Burnes, and that's something that's very, very satisfying, and can, I think, hopefully can make a lot of people breathe a sigh of relief in regards to, the signing of Corbin Burnes, and hopefully he's our ace. I think that's one thing he's starting to prove. Bullpen got the job done tonight. Kevin Ginkel went out there, got 1 inning. He walked 1, but he struck out 2. Kendall Graven continues to quietly be very good for this bullpen, and a welcome return, or I guess welcome to the bullpen. He pitched an inning, didn't give any hits, any walks, anything, no runs. And then everybody's favorite, Scott McGough, an inning pitched tonight, 2 strikeouts. So this bullpen, again, not anything. When they go in with an 8-0 lead, or I guess it was like 7-0, there's not a lot there that you would expect to happen. You would expect the bullpen to hopefully be able to hold things, or at least keep any scoring by the Rockies to a minimum, but they did not allow any runs, because this Rockies team continues to be very bad. I'm going to stop saying how bad the Rockies team are. Maybe ding me for saying of course, and then ding me for every time I diss the Rockies, because thank you. I appreciate that. The bullpen, though, again, back on track a little bit. Ryan Thompson, who did catch the first pitches tonight. We're going to talk about those very, very fun first pitches. He did not have to do any work, but he was out there swinging his big old arms around, getting warmed up. I guess you could say the A pitchers or the A squad outside of Kevin Ginkel all are still available for this team. And again, the bullpen got a chance to continue to rest and get reset. So something very much the Diamondbacks, something the Diamondbacks very much needed. And they take care of business here against Colorado Rockies. They have one tough series in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. They also have those St. Louis Cardinals that refuse to lose coming up. But then after that, things are, they close out the month against some teams that, much like the Rockies here, the Diamondbacks should be able to handle, and take care of business again. So hopefully that is the case and things continue down that path. We are going to talk about the numbers from this game on the other side of this. Well, before we do that, Jordan says, Derek, my father said he'd never talk to me again if we don't sweep the Rockies, and I'm still not worried.
Does that deserve a ding?
I think that deserves a glockenspiel, quite frankly.
Right,
he's not worried. The man's not worried. His father's never going to speak to him again.
Let's get the man the glockenspiel.
Let's do it. It's fantastic. All right. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk about the numbers from this game. We're also going to take a look at the NL West, and I'm going to tell you why. Just maybe we are no longer in the NL West. Maybe there's another division that deserves the hell attached to it, and we're going to talk about that after this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, All Pro Shade Concepts is a wonderful company, and they want to extend your outdoor living space. I love being outside. I love my patio, and quite frankly, I wish I had more shaded areas and less sun coming in because it's very hot out there. I have a fan, and it doesn't do much, but what would do great is some roll-down patio shades, which could block the sun and keep the patio up to 20 degrees cooler, blocking out 95% of those harmful UV rays. They have hundreds of colors and durable fabrics to choose from, and of course, All Pro Shade Concepts will work with your HOA to make sure everything they're doing is HOA compliant. We know those guys can be sticklers. They can also replace and fix most older, outdated patio shades and motorized awnings, so give them a call. They are very trusted. In fact, they were voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. They have a BBB A+ rating, and they have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. Why is that? Because they care about customer service, and they've been in business right here in the Valley for 20 years. So give them a call right now at 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com now to schedule your free estimate. And look, if you are in the vehicle market for a vehicle right now, there is no place to go other than Sanderson Ford. I will tell you, Sanderson Ford is one of the best dealerships of any vehicle maker here in the Valley, but they have been in business right here in Glendale for 70 years, and that's why you need to go check them out. They have big news here from Sanderson Ford. Ford announced their America for America employee pricing, where you pay the same as the owner of Sanderson Ford himself on the full lineup of new Fords with no hassle, no pressure, no nonsense, and no added markups. And that last part is the most important part. You can get these deals at any Ford dealership, but only at Sanderson Ford. Do you know you're not getting any markups on your vehicle? And right now, with their 70th anniversary sale, you can get additional Ford incentives on over 1,000 vehicles during their Sanderson Ford Platinum's 70th anniversary sale. Also, in celebration of their 70th anniversary, stop in and get some free Diamondbacks tickets. No test drive required. Nothing. You don't even have to eat lunch at the Starliner Diner, though I recommend it. But of course, stop in and get yourself some tickets. Right now, this deal does exclude the 2025 Expedition, Super Duty, Raptor family, Mustang, and Bronco specialty vehicles. One pair of tickets per household with valid driver's license to the July 6th game versus the Kansas City Royals while supply of 200 tickets last. So get out there right now. Of course, big thanks to Desert Financial for always making sure our numbers are straight. Let's take a look at the numbers from tonight's game. Diamondbacks beat the Rockies 8-0, beat them thoroughly. I feel like I should say something there, but then Kevin's going to ding me, so I'll just keep pushing on. Diamondbacks had 12 hits to the Rockies 2. Diamondbacks, once again, 3 for 415 in runners in scoring position. You're talking about cleaning something up? That's the thing that needs cleaning up. This team has been really, really bad with runners in scoring position, and they continue to be, even in a game that they lost they won 8-0. Rockies were 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position. They did not have any extra base hits tonight. The Diamondbacks had 4. 293 expected batting average for the Diamondbacks to the Rockies 135. That is right. 0 extra base hits, folks. I checked that 2 times, 3 times. 4 times.
What?
5 times?
What?
A Bloody Mary?
What? A margarita?
A margarita?
What? A whiskey sour?
A whiskey
What?
sour. Yeah, no, they did not have any extra base hits tonight. So that's what happened. The 2 hits were by Tovar, who returned to the Rockies lineup tonight, and Goodman, their DH. And not a lot of good to report from the Rockies side. And just to make things worse, let's take a look at the NL West update, because as you can see here, we're just pulling away here. Like, the rest of the division gone, just bye-bye. We're over here, and then there's the Rockies. I guess from a perspective of understanding and trying to relate, what do they have to play for? I guess pride. I guess you want to go out there and you want to be a major league ball player, so you want to go. But like, how hard is it to play every baseball game when you come to the ballpark that day expecting to lose? How hard is it that you know that you're in this like state of infidelity? Infidelity. No, that's not the word I was looking for, Kevin.
The Rockies are cheating on the MLB.
Ding me for saying the wrong word too. There we go. But no, this is just a very bad baseball team, and I can't really, yeah, you're right. Sean says money. That's fine, but we know historically athletes, especially on bad teams, just show up. And it's not like they're not trying. It's not like they're quitting. They are going out there and playing, but they are kind of quitting because the lack of effort tonight from the Rockies was pathetic. So,
Derek, you are way more locked in on the rules of this great game than I am. Is it true that if they have too bad of a record that they're actually going to get punished in the draft lottery because of fairness rules?
It's like
could you argue that it'd be in their best interest to try to at least win some games so they can still have the best odds?
I don't know really what, like, there's not a specific no tanking law in Major League Baseball, but basically it specifically prohibits trying to lose games or failing to give your best effort, right? So it's not necessarily something that you can prove just because a team is bad, right? And I mean, I don't know. Like, mindlessly scrolling said Bud Black is the scapegoat. He absolutely was on that. It's not like the firing of Bud Black is going to make this team any better or change anything. It's really the components making up the team, right? And to be fair, there's even guys that were good last season that haven't been very good at all this year, right? Like, Brenton Doyle is hitting 210 with a 583 OPS, right? These were the Mickey Moniak, right? That's how you say it. 218 with a 666 OPS. Wasn't he a number 1 overall pick at one point? Like, the things that and Christian, if you go back and watch our preview of this series, Christian Saez hit this on the head. He was basically saying it comes down to the decisions being made internally. It comes down to the draft choices and who they decide to spend money on. That comes down to basically a poorly ran organization that has been making the wrong decisions. In my time of covering the Diamondbacks, I covered this team when that kind of stuff was going on here. And it was frustrating as hell because even though I'm supposed to be unbiased media, deep down inside, I couldn't help but like internally scream with anger and frustration at things I was seeing happen to this team that, quite frankly, was becoming irrelevant in ways that I couldn't even describe. Their major league club was bad. Their farm system was bad. Everything about this was bad. That's why you guys could say all the things you want sometimes about Torey Lovullo, but I will fight each and every one of you over Mike Hazen, and just never forget that. I'll fight I'll fight Kevin. Kevin, I will fight you over Mike Hazen.
You might not have to. I feel like Mike Hazen would fight for himself.
Well, that's very true. Mike Hazen can handle his business. That's very true. However, I'm just saying that is one man that I will defend because of the things that he's done for this organization, quite frankly. And even though people like to take cracks at the fact that him and Torey have such a great relationship, I mean, so far things have worked out well for this team considering where they were at one point. And yes, I know even at that one point, when we first started doing this podcast, the Torey Lovullo was also in charge and managing this team when they were in one of their worst seasons in history. But they did a great job of rebounding from that, making it to the World Series a short time later. And of course, this team right now has a lot ahead of them with this division. However, as we showed, they're in the thick of it. They're right there, and that's all you can ask for, especially right now. Can't really scoreboard watch on May 16th too much, right? But we're gonna. But it's just nice. And like I said, the thing that the Diamondbacks need to make sure that they do is they stay with the pack and not let themselves get into a position where they're hoping to make up ground at a later time. It's not to say that couldn't happen, because of how much they still have to play these teams in the division before the season is over. But again, you just don't want them running away with things. And they can't take this Rockies team lightly, because the minute that you do, especially after a night like tonight's win, that's when they sneak up and steal one from you tomorrow or on Sunday. So the Diamondbacks need to stay locked in and get the job done when it comes to sweeping this team, because this team is bad. Torey gave his thoughts, by the way. I did. Damn it, I did it. I did it. You're right to dig me on that one. I deserve
also,
that.
Update on the rules thing I was talking about. Sean in the chat said that they are being punished due to their lack of success in past years. So the continued futility is what's being punished.
Yep.
Meaning that now they could have a historically bad year and they can pick no higher or no lower than 10th.
Yep.
Which is heartbreaking for guys like Christian Saez, for real.
and anybody that roots for that team. I didn't say anything bad that time, but here is Torey Lovullo, by the way, giving his recap of this game and what went right for this Diamondbacks team tonight.
So that was a pretty clean baseball game. And those are the types of things that we're looking for. When you come to the ballpark, you have a day off. I think everybody's a little bit refreshed, refocused, and the guys came out and did a really nice job from start to finish. And that's all I can ask for. Corbin was fantastic. It was 6 innings, 90-plus pitches, 10 strikeouts, just in command of every pitch that it seemed like he wanted to throw. He was landing it. And he let us kind of get our feet under us. We took a lead, and then he became a little bit more stubborn as the game went on. We thought about taking him out, pushing him out there, getting him over 100 pitches, but where the game was and what we had in the bullpen, we felt like it made a lot of sense. So it was Ginkgo, Graveman, and McGuff to hold the line and preserve the shutout. So just a very well-pitched game. It's nice to see Gabby have that kind of a day. Everybody was chipping in with some good approaches. You're looking at 15 base runners, hits and walks. And I talked about it last year. Anytime you're getting north of that 13, 14 base runner mark, you're going to put up some big numbers. So I was really proud of the way we chipped away, we advanced runners, we scored runners, situationally hit. We did a lot right today, and I want that to continue.
Well, Torey had a little disagreement with the umpires over a foul ball, fair ball call there. And, of course, he came out and wanted to chat, and cooler heads prevailed. Everybody agreed. Torey actually said after the game that they did get the call right, in his opinion. However, he doesn't like the way that umpires position themselves or how the first base umpire. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, there was a weird call tonight, and of course, it got us all thinking about Torey throwing out all 4 umpires from the game the other day. We are all, every one of us is waiting on the Jomboy breakdown of that incident. And when I say all of us, I mean even Torey Lovullo.
Jomboy breakdown. Yeah, I guess I am. I had the best Jomboy breakdown was Mike Fitzgerald, who knows me so well, right? Mike Fitzgerald is so smart. He knows what I'm going to say before I know what I'm going to say. All right, he's that guy. So he sent me a breakdown. He's watching it with his daughter. It was classic, about what I was saying, and he was as close as I could remember it being. So he nailed it. But yeah, Jomboy, Jimmy's the best. He's one of the best in the business. Once in a while, he texts me to ask me, "Did you say this? I couldn't read this quite right. Is this right?" So I'm gonna let him go blind on this one. I'm gonna let him do his thing and see what he does for sure.
Jomboy got a hold of that clip. I don't know how he got it, but he did tweet out challenge accepted to Torey, saying that he wasn't going to help him out. I found that fascinating, as did Kevin, that Jomboy actually texts a manager like Torey Lovullo just to clarify before he does his funny little lip reading video if what he said was true. I've seen videos of Jimmy actually doing those videos, and I've seen how seriously he takes it. Some people get really impatient with him about him getting the videos out, but it's hard work. to slow those videos down and accurately figure out what people are saying, which is the biggest concern to Jimmy. He 100% wants to make sure that when he's doing those lip reading videos that he's not just, because you can always do bad lip reading. It's always funny and you can say whatever you want. And if you make it look or sound close enough, it's going to look like that's what the person said, right? But yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And Jimmy's the best, and so is Torey. Their relationship delights me to no end, but can't wait to see that video. Speaking of which, by the way, I did want to let you guys know that our PHNX Diamondbacks pool party takeover at Chase Field is happening on Shane's birthday on July 3rd, 5:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock. We're going to have a great time. It's the best time to come hang out with other diehards, have a great time out at the pool. We got the right field pool reserved on July 3rd. We're inviting you guys to come hang out with us. Tickets are very, very limited. I will tell you that now because last year when we did this, I had 9 million people DM me trying to get tickets, and there was nothing I could do. I tried my best to get everybody in, but game tickets includes the tickets to Dbacks Nationals in the pool. You get complimentary food, beverages during the entirety of the game. You also, I think, get like a towel to take home and stuff we did last time. So it's good stuff. So make sure to join us if you are interested. It will be a blast out there at the pool, and I can't wait to get Kevin to do a little I don't know, maybe a little cannonball action.
Oh, I can't swim. That won't be happening. But but you said this is the what event, Derek?
It's the PHNX pool party takeover, and also Shane's birthday. Hey, there it is. You know, the sounds always they always bring me a bunch of joy. It's so much joy. Another thing that brought me a tremendous amount of joy today was the first pitch guests for the Arizona Diamondbacks, because one of them is the guy whose shirt I'm wearing right now. That is the one and only former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Swerve Strickland. And then we also got to meet a new friend, someone who we've really come to really enjoy already, a new member of the Diamondbacks roster, one Ben Willis, who was there as a Make-A-Wish kid today, and all he wanted was to become part of the Arizona Diamondbacks organization. He wanted to be a player on the team, and I got to tell you guys, this was really special today. All of the players went out when Ben and his family arrived, and they met them, and they welcomed him to the team, and they cheered him on. He was there in the clubhouse with all the guys. He came out throughout the first pitch. He got a chance to stand next to Torey during the national anthem. And it was just a really cool thing to see how much the organization just went all in on making Ben's day special. And of course, he also got to throw out the first pitch. That was great. And then, of course, this was also happening at the same time when my guy Swerve Strickland was there. And let me tell you, these two individuals couldn't really be more different. Swerve, a very violent person. Ben, not violent at all. Quite kind-hearted, a wonderful, wonderful child. Swerve Strickland, like I said, certified wackadoo. I've seen him staple himself with a staple gun, but he looked incredible. And here he was in his Serpientes jersey with the Strickland on back. This was the aura of this man was amazing. And again, it was quite contrasting first pitches, but I do also have a quite contrasting comparison shot. Kevin, if you wouldn't mind, me and Swerve have known each other for a very long time. There was a lot of black in my beard back then. My beard actually did not have any gray in it when we first met, and he didn't have nearly the amount of scars that he currently has. But yes, this was us from back in the Lucha Underground days, and I can't tell you enough how excited I am to see all of the success he's experienced, because that man deserves it. He's a tremendous individual, one of the hardest working guys in the ring that I've ever seen, and quite frankly, a lunatic when it comes to pain and what he's willing to put his body through. And that kind of also goes over to their Double or Nothing show coming up here in Glendale this weekend, because let me tell you, he is doing one of those Anarchy in the Arena matches, I guess, and he's challenged the Death Riders to that. I know most of you might not watch pro wrestling, but just the name of challenging a group of people called the Death Riders to a match when he himself doesn't seem to have any backup. He asked me what I was doing, and I was like, bro, I'm busy. I'm not fighting Jon Moxley. I refuse to do that. But if you don't have tickets yet, go grab your tickets for that. It's going to be an incredible show.
Isn't
May
it next
25th.
weekend? Not this weekend?
No, you're right. Did I say this weekend? Yes, it's next weekend.
You scared me
May
because I have a
25th.
Mercury post game tomorrow. Be there, be square.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? I'm going to miss all or double or nothing for work?
No.
That's crazy.
No, you're not.
Okay, good.
No, you're going to be there. We're going to be there. But yes. What is happening here? Is Caesar's asking me Rogaine? Is that for my hair? For my head?
I think for the beard. You're referencing the color of your beard.
Oh, no. No, it's just this is what happens. This is what happens when you read the YouTube comments. This is what happens when you have to worry about what time you're going to go live and what studio you're going to be in for 3 years. That's what that's from.
This is your beard without social media.
I was so happy back then.
And this is your beard after using social media.
Man, look at how old I am. It sucks. But anyway, we do have some super chats to get to before we get out of here. What do we got, Kevin? Oh, the wonderful Candace says, what do you make on Torey's comments about Thomas over Tawa, but Tawa is coming? That I think is just in regards to the fact that Tim Tawa hasn't played a lot of center field. But what we all saw out of him tonight was very much the capability to play center field at Chase Field, which is not an easy place to do that. So I just think it was about securing that, like Torey said, I think it was a 5-0 lead. I think they just wanted to have Alec out there as a better defender because they feel like he is. And quite frankly, he is. Thomas is a better defender. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of experience. And Tim Tawa doesn't have that much experience playing center field, at least lately. That was something in college when he was at Stanford. Carlos says, let's talk about how much of a statement win this was against our biggest rival, the Colorado Rockies. We showed them that this is our house. Well, actually, it's Swerve's house. That's the way that this works, but that's only when he's in the house. When he's gone tomorrow, it goes back to being our house. But yes, no, you're right. Those Rockies, the notorious rival of the Arizona Diamondbacks, we got them. We got them good, you guys. Johnny Walker, my friend since how far did we go back? Way longer than me and Swerve. Day. 3rd grade, me and Johnny Walker. Just said go Dbacks. Thank you for your super chat. We appreciate it. BComC clearly is going to make me say something that I absolutely do not want to say. He said, Bubble Burns, fire. Perdomo got cake. He thick. I love you, Noah.
For reference, BComC clearly that super chat has been sent to Noah.
Perfect.
So he will get that communication from you.
We all love Noah. You're not the only one. And then BComC clearly wants to know if Espo knows cutesy legs. Is that another Noah thing?
Do you know cutesy legs?
No, I do not know cutesy legs.
I think, I don't know the origins officially, but I'm pretty sure that's BComC clearly's nickname for SPG on the Suns podcast.
All right. Well, I have no comment on that. I will say, though, that, yes, his legs are adorable. Let's take a look at the updated probable pitchers for the rest of this series. You could probably at this point just gray out the Rockies completely and not really worry about that. But German Marquez with his is that 8.2? I did it again. 8.27 ERA going up against Zach Gallen. And then we got Merrill Kelly on the bump against Chase Dollander in the finale. So advantage Diamondbacks in both of these games. I mean, it was already advantage in this series, but yeah, that's where we sit. Things look good for this team.
First back-to-back wins in May.
First back-to-back wins in May. That's something that they do not do often enough. So hopefully the Diamondbacks can go on a little run here. Maybe that run continues over to a stretch there against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan Nelson will be pitching on Tuesday for the Diamondbacks. So that is a pretty big development. And I feel like most people would rather see Ryan Nelson in there starting than Eduardo Rodriguez at this point. So good start to the series. Diamondbacks need to keep it up and get things going on a roll. But we do appreciate you guys, of course, for being here. We love you guys. We thank you so much for your time. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at cap_caveman with a K. Kevin is at Kevo Posts. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We appreciate you guys so much. We will be back on Monday with another Mailbag Monday episode. So make sure to shoot us your messages for that. Also, of course, check out, me and Kevin are going to break down who the Arizona Diamondbacks actual rivals are here. So we'll have that video drop this weekend. I hope you guys enjoy taking a look at that. Also, got our updates. We got Swerve throwing out the first pitch, so do not miss out on any of the videos on our YouTube channel or any of the wonderful stuff we're doing around here.
If you want to see Ryan Thompson tea time hitting the Swerve dance,
oh man,
check out our short that we just uploaded.
He was going to be, if he didn't catch Swerve, Ryan was going to be so mad at everybody at the Diamondbacks. So I'm glad he got to do that. But of course, he's a great guy and did a great job catching everybody, throwing out the first pitch. But we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Behave yourselves, and you know who I'm talking to when I say behave yourselves. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you know whose house.
We all silly like the mayor.